Hey everybody! I have the new GoPro HERO 7 Black now for several weeks and have spent this time testing it extensively and in all aspects. I was also able to test it a few times when skiing, and so I got a very good impression of what the new action cam from GoPro can do in real use. In this video I will explain what I like about the new GoPro, what could be improved, and if it is exactly the action cam we always wanted. My name is Werner, I live in the Italian Alps, and this channel is about filmmaking and GoPro. Have fun with this video. I have been using a GoPro for several years for sports or to make travel videos. With the HERO 5, GoPro has introduced a new body and a new interface. In the last years I got used to it and therefore I was not surprised that GoPro didn't redesign the body for the HERO 7. The surfaces were slightly modified and a 7 was placed on the side. A 7 was also added to the frame. So you can now see from the distance that the new version is in use. The battery compartment has been slightly improved. With the HERO 6, at least with the first version, the battery compartment was so tight that the battery could hardly be removed and inserted. In general, the battery door and the side door can now be opened more easily. In a direct comparison to the HERO 6, I also noticed that the screen was slightly modified. In daylight it might be a bit brighter than the display of the HERO 6. However, I only noticed this in a direct comparison. In any case, the screen can still be used well even in relatively bright lighting conditions. The display and the body are without any doubt among the strengths of the GoPro. They are rugged, very well made and optimally suited for the purpose of an action cam. It is clear that you might want a smaller and lighter body in the future. This is especially true for those who often mount the action cam to a helmet. Fortunately, GoPro has decided this year to offer the HERO 7 Black right from the start for $400. Last year they charged $500 for the HERO 6 at the beginning. This year even cheaper versions are available with the HERO 7 Silver and White, but with significantly fewer features. You can find the respective links in the video description. I was a bit surprised that GoPro completely redesigned the menu. In the beginning I wasn't very happy about it, because I considered the menu of the HERO 6 and the HERO 5 to be very simple and intuitive. I couldn't really imagine that GoPro would succeed in improving this already extremely simple interface. Nevertheless, I have to say that I found it very easy to use the new menu. Especially well solved is the switching between photo, video and time-lapse mode. Until now you always had to press the mode button on the side. On the HERO 7 you can now switch between the different modes by simply wiping to left or right. I think that's a good solution. Quick capture and the sound can now be activated and deactivated by a simple click in the dashboard. This is especially important for the sound. You can now activate and deactivate it quickly and easily without having to search in the menu. What one could perhaps criticize is that the settings for ProTune have now been integrated into the video settings in a slightly more confusing way. But all in all, this is no problem. Some new features have also been added. You can now play back a video in slow motion, or you can activate the HEVC codec permanently to save disk space. Apart from that, the voice commands have also been completed and slightly improved. But even more important than these minor improvements is the question about how the new GoPro performs in video and photo mode. To find out, I have made several tests and comparisons with the HERO 6 and for example the iPhone XS. You can watch the respective videos on my channel. Now that I had the opportunity to test the GoPro in sports, I give you an overall verdict today. The image quality of the GoPro HERO 7 has hardly changed compared to the HERO 6. GoPro has worked slightly on the colors, probably to improve the skin tones a bit. Otherwise the image of the HERO 7 can hardly be distinguished from the image of the HERO 6. If you use both cameras on a tripod or gimbal and deactivate the sound, you won't be able to tell what image was taken with which camera. However, this shouldn't be seen as negative, as the image quality of the HERO 7, like that of the HERO 6, is very good overall. The image looks very vivid, colorful and rich in contrast. However, if you want a more cinematic image, you should reduce the sharpness. I would maybe like to see a bit more dynamic range. It can still happen that very bright areas in the image burn out completely. In addition, a higher bitrate would make sense, also to get more flexibility for color grading when using the flat image profile. What GoPro has achieved outstandingly on the HERO 7 is the electronic image stabilization. You can see in this shot, which I took with a chest mount, that there are absolutely no shakes. the image looks absolutely smooth and stable. There are no image jumps and it looks as if it was shot on a gimbal. That's exactly the stabilization we've always wanted from GoPro. In a certain sense, the Hero 7 is therefore a game changer. While you can say that the electronic stabilization may not completely replace a gimbal in every situation, it often makes it dispensable. I'm curious to see how long it will take for this type and quality of stabilization to be implemented in larger cameras or smartphones. In video mode, however, the quality of the stabilization is not the only important innovation for me. Also great is the fact that the Hypersmooth stabilization is also available in 4K 60 without any loss of quality. This is crucial because 4K 60 on the Hero 6 wasn't stabilized at all. Now you can use 4K 60 as the default shooting mode, and the perfectly stabilized image in 4K 60 has always been the dream of many bloggers and filmmakers. The GoPro delivers a beautiful image in 4K, and at 60 frames per second you can also take smooth slow motion footage. By the way, my 2017 MacBook Pro has no problem in playing back a 4K 60 file and is able to edit it in Final Cut Pro in real time. It's just a pity that there were no changes to the stabilization of the 120 frames per second recording modes, as on the Hero 6 2.7K 120 are not stabilized at all and 1080 120 only support the standard stabilization. The audio quality of the GoPro has also been slightly improved. Especially the voice now appears clearer and crisper. On the other hand, some bass has been removed. The sound no longer has this dull, suppressed character. However, the GoPro is still very sensitive to touch. One of the reasons why I took my time with this review was that I wanted to test how stable the camera is during normal use. In other words, whether it would crash frequently like the Hero 6. Crashes were quite common on my Hero 6, and with the latest firmware the quick capture mode became almost unusable. In the cold the battery life was reduced considerably on the Hero 6. As for the Hero 7, I can say that it has been relatively stable so far. However, it has also crashed a few times over the last few weeks. While skiing, I noticed that after a while the stabilization was deactivated due to the cold. This was then expressly communicated by the camera. I was able to solve the problem by changing the battery. For longer shots, the camera also gets relatively hot, especially at the front and at the lens. You can still operate the camera well after 20 minutes of continuous recording, but it doesn't feel very pleasant anymore. For me, however, this doesn't present a major problem, as I rarely take longer shots. The battery life is a bit shorter compared to the Hero 6. You have to keep in mind that the image processor is now working harder, which also has an effect on energy usage. Somewhat strange in that context is the fact the screen on the back of the camera doesn't give any information about the remaining battery life during recording. I have always taken many photos with the GoPro. If you get used to the special properties of the fisheye lens and learn how to use it, you can take very interesting and good photos with it. Similar to the video quality, there are hardly any difference between simple JPEGs on the Hero 7 and the Hero 6. However, the HDR mode has been slightly improved. You can now force an HDR and are not limited to an automatic mode. In addition, with Super Photo, a new feature was added, which should process your photos autonomously and optimally. In most cases, Super Photo will increase the contrast, the sharpness and the clarity. Personally, these innovations are not decisive for me, as I usually shoot my photos in RAW and then prefer to edit them myself in Lightroom. But this may be different for you and you might like the new way of processing. If you're interested in a topic, have a look at my corresponding video. Another positive aspect is that GoPro has finally integrated a timer in photo mode. You can use it to make better selfies, for example, or to prevent camera shake with longer exposures. There is also a new feature in the time-lapse mode, the time warp mode. In my opinion, this is also a very useful innovation. This allows you to create hyperlapses relatively easily and thus enhance your travel videos, for example. Soon there will be a tutorial on this topic from me. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're interested. So let's come to the conclusion. Did the GoPro Hero 7 become the action cam we always wanted? Personally, I think so. There are only a few innovations, but these are decisive. Especially the improved stabilization and the stabilization in 4K 60 make the camera an all-round excellent product. It is now much easier to create smooth and cinematic videos. Time warp and Super Photo complete the whole package. Whether it makes sense to upgrade from the Hero 6 is up to you. If a great stabilization without gimbal and 4K 60 are important for you and you have always been annoyed by the strange image jumps on the Hero 6, then yes. If only the pure image quality is important for you and you usually use a gimbal anyway, then probably no. With this I say goodbye from the Alps. Please support my channel with a like and see you next time.